Welcome to the R Readiness Lens podcast, where we're focused on numbers and driven by results. I'm your host, Sheri Radler, and each week we'll take a closer look at practical ways to get your business ready for what's next. From firm planning for the upcoming quarter to finding the right health insurance for your team. Whether you're a small or mid-sized business owner looking for advisory support or just want to better understand your numbers, you're in the right place. Let's get started. So hi, I'm Sheri Radler, and we're hosting the R Readiness Lens. I'm an accountant that spent a career in corporate understanding the framework on how business entities were developed and structured and grow. I've sat at the international board meetings, and I have also sat at the kitchen tables of our clients and discovered that the conversations are so very similar. We're discussing growth, concerns, values, next steps, and how do we transition from where we are to where we want to go next. So discovering that no matter what the size of the organization was, the questions and the concerns were the same, we came to really feel that the difference was those corporate entities were working on a guidebook and a playbook, that the business owners weren't. Small business owners come in and they work on what they know. And that is the difference. So our goal with this show is to bring practical, real world guidance and advice on how to bring that framework and structure of that mindset down and shine that lens onto your own organization and build some of that structure. A lot of the framework we're outlining comes from our experience at our accounting group, working with our clients. And who are our clients? We focus on working with business owners that understand that their business and operations are beyond where they're at. It is beyond their day-to-day, and they want to go beyond their day-to-day numbers. We work with the business owners that are keeping an eye on the next. The outcome, the opportunity, the pivot, and we don't have to even define what that is as much as we have an understanding that life occurs, economy shift, the world alters, and the idea is that we want to be prepared. So it is bringing that big company discipline down to the small businesses and helping them understand that framework internally. Working within our corporate environment, like I said, I spent a career, 20 years doing that, understanding the operational calendar and the cycle. And personally, I was talking to friends, families, colleagues in my community that were also running their businesses. And too often it really came down to one of those kind of conversations of, but you're doing it wrong. They're telling me what they're doing and they're telling me about their struggles. And it's like, but you're doing it wrong. You're missing this step. You've missed this deadline. Are you not aware of this deduction? And that became the framework. And it's not that they're doing it wrong because they're not very smart people. But again, they don't have the playbook. So because they didn't know this is a step on the checklist, they're missing it. You're doing it wrong. You're incurring fees, penalties, eroding the trust of your own clients because you're just missing these gateways and these windows, these ladders, these chutes, but you're doing it wrong. You're missing these moments. And that really started it. So what began as just conversations with friends, families, colleagues, walking them through steps, transitioned to a little bit of, well, great, thanks for helping me. Can you handle it from here? We don't want it back. And that really was the genesis of how it started, coming to realize how much missed opportunity my friends, families, and colleagues were having, that they were just not having the opportunity. And working with them, just that embracing that help was way more empowering, helping them leverage their growth and how it was going to impact their lives and their family, than working at high corporate where I had gotten to a point where the focus was pennies on a dividend check. And just had weighed out a different outcome. And yes, definitely enjoyed working with our clients. And that was the natural transition. So after 5 years of our accounting being here and working with clients one-on-one, again, it comes down to messaging. We continue to see a lot of these missed opportunities, this missed moments, which translate to missed money, missed bottom line, missed things in our personal worlds. So a podcast is just an opportunity to share this out. Much of it is common sense. It's often similar to the common sense entries that you use in real life. Do we have an emergency fund? Are we setting ourselves up for success? But it is highlighting them and bringing them out to the table, and hopefully bringing them to the table and allowing the audience to go, aha, yes, I can immediately put that into action, close this loop, snip this thread, and improve our outcome. The opportunity to do a podcast is definitely one of those areas where we're embracing the discomfort. Because, okay, I'm an accountant, and you may envision us sitting very much in the dark room, and I've shockingly always been told that I am a personable accountant. I am unlike other accountants. But that has still often not been my goal of jumping out here in public like this. So no, the excitement is bringing the message. The excitement is having the conversation. The excitement is expanding the audience that can improve their level of success, their lifestyles, their families' outcomes by some short fixes, some, small changes, and just walking through a framework and viewing everything through this lens of the outcome of which we're trying to achieve. So we have laid out our podcast to actually walk through a cycle of a roadmap of a seasonality that we see our business clients go through in their business life cycle. We're going to start with the foundations of the roadmap. Let's build the journey and understand what we're trying to achieve. Second, let's understand the numbers of our strategy. What do they tell us? What are they showing us? And how can we use them to leverage decisions within our business? Third, we're going to hold that lens up and try to illuminate some of the risk and the blind spots, because not every issue we have in our business comes from the accounting department. They all translates to dollars, but they don't all start in the accounting department. So what are some of the other blind spots we may have within our business? We're going to circle it around, and now that we understand our blind spots, let's understand how we can frame those for growth. Let's understand how we can shore up those blind spots, and then let's understand where we want to go and develop that framework for the growth. And finally, we're just going to lay this out on a plan for preparing for the future. And as we go through all of this, we want to structure it into conversations, real world examples. We're going to bring in some guests that are experts in these fields, trying to bring in that C-suite mindset, that expertise, the education, and the environment of that C-suite, of expanding your ideas and that mindset that you don't have to know the answer to everything. You can go out and utilize your resources for it. We've seen the readiness mindset and the corporate framework work in huge international organizations where we are working on that organizational operational calendar, daily, weekly, monthly, quarterly, annual. Bringing that framework, and that is the core component of it, bringing that framework down to our small business clients. We have brought this into several. I think I've mentioned before, actually, this is the first one, so I haven't, but let's just go there. One of the first clients we had at R Accounting was a pediatric therapist practice that was undergoing a level of transition where they were shifting how they were doing their client billing for services. What they found was, because the information on how they were doing it resided in one person's head, that when they made the shift of billing, the process broke. Immediately broke. We came in, and over a course of about 2 years, we worked with them to develop this entire accounting framework. It allowed the business owner to step back a little bit, and instead of dealing with the immediacy of what is the fire of the day, she was able to structure more of where she wanted her business to go and develop the framework for growth from a goal, outline, budgeting, build to the budget, and develop it out over the course of the 2 years. And this was a significant framework because, as I said, when we came in, they were almost at a revenue stoppage on their pipeline because their revenue billing pipeline had broken under their process. And within a 2-year, we were able to implement a framework that not only supported how they needed to bill, but how they were operationally going to run, and that shorted up to the point that they were confident to open that second, or actually what is their 4th location. So that next location in their world. So if the conversation we're having today resonates with you, we invite you to join us as we continue this conversation. Because the readiness mindset isn't about perfection, it's about positioning. Because the truth of the matter is, processes are what build business. People are what run your processes. So over the next season, we are going to have bi-weekly episodes walking through this business readiness journey. Illuminating where we are, understanding where we want to go, and helping to map ourselves to where we want to go. How businesses climb and how they sometimes slide is the emphasis of what we're trying to focus on. We hope you join us. Follow us on LinkedIn, Instagram, and wherever you can find this local podcast. Thanks for joining me on the R Readiness Lens podcast. If you found this episode helpful, connect with me on LinkedIn and follow along on Instagram for more tips and resources. And if you're ready to take your business to the next level, be sure to rate the podcast and subscribe so you never miss an upcoming episode. Until next time, keep your numbers clear and your goals in focus.